This video was suggested by one of my viewers in the comments. If you want to see a certain video, leave a comment down below. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's JB and today I'm going to be giving you all the information that you need to know on all of the Poppi forms. We'll be covering all three of the Poppi forms, so Poppi Alpha, Poppi QT and Poppi QTπ, and I'll be demonstrating builds and strategies for each of them and how to use those blades to the utmost of their ability. I'll also be demonstrating all of the technical manual locations which should be in the background right now. These are required for you to be able to craft some of the Poppi swap parts that I'm going to talk about through this video. However, to do so, you're going to need a hell of a lot of ether crystals. So if you're struggling to get them, make sure to watch my Tiger video first to be able to get the necessary ether crystals and then come back to this one to put the build together. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Poppi is Tora's only blade due to the fact that he doesn't have the aptitude to resonate with an ordinary blade, which is why he crafted Poppi. And because of this, Poppi has some unique features compared to the other blades, which can make her absolutely overpowered in whatever form she chooses to be. With access to Poppi swap as well, the player gets to choose how they want to play the game, because even though Poppi is designed as the primary tank through the story of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, with access to Poppi swap, she doesn't have to be a tank anymore. As I mentioned before, Poppi has three forms, and each one of the forms has its own unique weapon, which are loosely based off of other different weapon classes. Poppi Alpha's shield is based loosely off of the stats of the shield hammer class. Poppi QT's weapons are loosely based off of the chrome katana, with the only exception being that the weapon is two separate parts, similar to how Bridget has two swords compared to one chrome katana. And finally, Poppi QTπ's saber, stat-wise, is very similar to the Aegis sword, so Mithra Pyra. However, her arts don't reflect that at all, which is different compared to her other two forms. With this being the case, as default, Poppi Alpha's shield is based to be about taking reduced damage with a very high block rate and taking very little damage from attacks. Poppi QT is designed more around evasion tanking, dodging attacks and having them deal no damage rather than minor damage overall, whilst Poppi QTπ is basically just a jack of trades, as her arts and abilities can basically fill whatever playstyle that you actually need her to be. However, she is much better at offense compared to anything else like tanking or healing. Righty, now we're going to have a quick look at the builds and what you should try and do when you're building up Poppi with Poppi swap. It's also important to note that this is just the build that I use, and if you would prefer a certain different art card or skill RAM, then go for it. And for that exact reason, I won't be talking much about the specials enhancing RAM, as for the most part, that'll just be whatever you prefer. Finally, on that note, element cores are the same thing. I won't be talking about element cores much as well, just go for whatever element you want on each Poppi. But let's start with Poppi Alpha. Poppi Alpha for me is designed completely around damage mitigation, which is why straight away we've got the Master Evasion mod on her, as there's no better way to avoid taking damage than evading it rather than taking reduced damage. I actually don't recommend the normal tank modifier as well. It provides you with a HP mod, which, although good through the main storyline, by the time you reach the end game, Tora will be near max HP anyway, and the majority of the bonus that it gives you will be missed due to the cap of 999 HP, which is why I go for the Master Evasion mod, just to provide a bit more agility for Tora and help him be able to dodge more attacks. In terms of her art cards, I run Damage Absorb and Aggro Draw. I'll talk about Damage Absorb first, which again is to mitigate most of the damage. Poppi takes very little damage anyway, but just being able to add a small barrier which absorbs a small amount of damage just reduces that, and also ties very well with the evasion core. Because Tora's got lower HP, any attack that might normally at that HP still be able to one-shot, damage absorption can just give him just enough health or just enough wiggle room to survive the attack. Aggro Draw is a bit more essential though in my opinion. Poppi Alpha's damage output isn't particularly splendid, so if you've got maxed out Rex, Zeke as an example with ether cannons etc, they're going to take and draw a lot of aggro really quickly, so this art card can just help for Poppi Alpha to maintain the aggro. Make sure to have this as high as a level as well, so she can use it as regularly as possible. Finally, in terms of her skills, I run damage spike, ultimate shield, and block rate up. We'll start with damage spike. Really simply, it's just effective for providing Poppi with more damage, because as I've just said, she has quite a low damage output. However, the two essential pieces are block rate up 5 and ultimate shield. Block rate up 5 provides Poppi with the highest possible block rate in the game of 93%, and ultimate shield on block gives you a 50% chance to completely deflect the attack and take a 0 damage. So with block rate alone, Poppi has around a 45% chance of taking no damage, which could be classed as even higher when you count in agility. And the majority of the time, 93% of the time, she's going to take reduced damage anyway, which means that she can basically survive forever. Give Poppi Alpha a HP absorb arts as well, and then she's got her own way to regain HP as well. Next, we'll have a look at Poppi QT. In my opinion, out of all of the other Poppis, she's the worst form. For the same reason as Poppi Alpha, we're also going for the Master Evasion mod, again, just to help with dodging attacks, and dodging is better than taking damage. The art cards I run on her are Critical Up and System Reset. Critical Up's just there for my own reasons, to be honest. It's just what I thought of putting on her. But System Reset's pretty nice to be able to cancel debuffs from enemies on Poppi QT to give her the usage of a semi-healer / cleanser for yourself. And then for the skills, I have Affinity Max Evade, again to help with evasion, Blade Combo Boost, Arts Aggro Boost, and Block Rate Up 5. Specifically, I recommend Blade Combo Boost if you're using either Dark, Water, Light, or Fire, because then you can create orbs yourself, and the extra damage from that is pretty nice. I shouldn't need to talk about why Affinity Max Evade is good. Arts Aggro Boost is again for the same reason, just helpful with keeping aggro, especially when paired with her aggro up art. And again, I've just put block rate on there just for peace of mind. If she does take damage, she's got that higher chance of taking reduced damage. But overall, she's just a sort of middle ground. Finally, for the builds, we have Poppi QTπ. In terms of role CPU, you should either use the Master Muscle or Master Ether mod, depending on what you want more damage from. Almost all of Tora's arts are physical, which is why I run the Master Muscle mod. If you want more damage from the specials, the Ether mod is the one to go for. This is just to help Poppi have a lot more damage and be the main damage dealer on Tora. In terms of arts cards, I run Critical Up 5, Recharge Boost 5, and Arts Boost 5. Basically to help with damage and to be able to get breaks as regularly as possible, which is going to be Poppi QTπ's main job. Poppi QTπ already has a pretty reasonable critical rate as well, so if you want to put more ETH crystals elsewhere, such as into the specials enhancing RAM, then you can take off Critical Up 5 off of the arts to save yourself some ether crystals. Poppi QTπ can have 6 skills, which is ridiculous, and on her I have Critical Up 5, Critical Restore, Pinpoint Weakness, Affinity Max Attack, Outdoor Attack, and Challenger. There's a certain theme, which is critical hits and damage. Of note, however, is that you won't need Critical Restore 5 like I have, for the simple reason that Poppi QTπ deals so much damage via those critical hits, thanks to the other skills, that even with Critical Restore 1, you'll pretty much heal yourself to full anyway. It's just overdoing it, if you ask me. I do also recommend with Poppi QTπ to have, again, either Dark, Light, Fire, or the Water element, due to how easily she can build up specials, allowing her to pair up into herself. Personally, what I was originally going to do is have the Dark element on Poppi QTπ and the Ice element on Poppi QT, but for whatever reason, the devs don't let you put the Ice on Poppi QT, even though cryo bombs would be amazing, but they don't let you do it. So if any of you know a glitch on how to get Ice on Poppi QT, let me know. And finally, it's time to get in how to actually use all of them. First, we'll take a quick look at Tora though. The accessories you want to be running, absolutely, are Beta Scope. Poppi QTπ has got the best break in the game, and with access to Beta Scope, you're able to get off breaks very reliably and easily. Tie this with a overclocking bangle, and Tora actually also has the ability to basically perform driver combos all on his own. Break with QTπ, topple with Poppi Alpha, launch back to QTπ, and then back to Poppi QT for the smash. You should use Poppi Alpha if you're battling multiple enemies at the same time, as Poppi Alpha's ability to block almost all damage prevents almost all the enemies from dealing any damage to you at all, and with a special level 1 and a driver art, Poppi Alpha has the ability to build aggro and deal lots of AoE damage very easily, compared to Poppi QT, QT who needs to evade a lot of attacks to be properly effective. QTπ is also your main source of healing on Tora with a critical restore, so you should be swapping to her regularly to make sure that you're topped off. He is also by far the best out of Tora's blades for building blade combos, so building them on Poppi QTπ and switching to another form is the way to go. If you've got the same build as me in this video, then the purpose of Tora is again still to tank. But the role that you want to do is maintain aggro with Poppi QTπ due to her immense damage and sustain, and then switch appropriately to either Poppi form dependent on what the situation calls for, whether you need damage mitigation or evasion. And with that, Tora should easily be able to carry his team to victory. And that's how you build Poppi. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that red button down below and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future content. But until next time guys, see ya!